shots coming from the chopper.
Will?
Sarah.
Open fire! Stand by to engage! Going after the files! Get the hardlines!
This clip is from the Transformers movie. The Decepticon had disguised itself into a helicopter in order to infiltrate the military base. After gaining access, he quickly and effectively breached the defense system before they could even respond and stole the data. After doing so, the Decepticon wiped out the entire base so that no one would know where to look. This is all too similar to what happens online, with today's hackers sending out millions of cyber Decepticons each day that have the ability to turn your computer into a scrap of metal. Here are 3 common techniques that hackers employ to infiltrate your computer and how to defend yourself against them.
Autobots, we charge together! Now roll out!
Once upon a time, there's this little girl named Red Riding Hood. She's happily visiting her sick old grandmother, knowing that the wolf has already eaten up her grandmother and disguised as her. The wolf tricked her in and eat her up. This is a fisherman. He spells differently from fisherman, but his job is exactly the same. Using attractive bait or pretend to be someone else like the wolf to let you swallow his hook. And if he uses the right technique, you could get caught. But it is not you he wants, it is your account number and other personal information. What we are talking here about is phishing. It's when someone sends you an email that looks like it comes from an established legitimate company but is to trick you in providing valuable data, such as your bank account, credit card numbers, username and passwords, as well as other personal information. There are 2 popular techniques that these fishermen like to use. One is fear. The email might look like it's from your bank and says that your account has been compromised. Another is excitement. The email might tell you won a lot of money. Either way, the email will contain a link that brings you to a fraudulent website. It may look like the real site and it asks you to log in to fix the problem or claim your prize. The good news is, phishing emails can be easily identified by just looking at a few important signs. So the email if you receive contains more than 2 of these signs, beware. First, you weren't expecting this email. It mentioned an urgent matter. It comes from a business by using a free email account such as Yahoo, Gmail, and Hotmail. They have spelling or grammatical errors throughout the email. The sender is asking for money, account numbers, password, or other personal information. The email looks like part of a longer conversation, but this is the first time you've seen it. It said you won a contest you don't remember entering. It wants you to click a link to fix the problem or claim your prize. If you hover your cursor over the link, text of the link doesn't match the pop-up box appears. The email is from someone important, such as the CEO of a company. It is from a stranger offering you a money-making opportunity. It mentions a secret that was intended for someone else but accidentally sent to you. Remember, if your email has 2 of these signs, it's probably phishing. Sometimes, phishing emails get your personal information by using malicious software or malware instead of asking you to enter yourself. Here are the 2 quick ways to avoid malware threats. Always use a hover technique before clicking onto any links in an email. You will see the text to a link either by a pop-up box called tooltip or at the bottom corner of the web browser. If the text in the email doesn't match the one in the pop-up box, you may be going to a fraudulent website. If the text of the email shows that you are opening a Word or PDF document, but the pop-up box ends with a .exe, you may have been sent malware. Second, always avoid opening attachments in emails you weren't expecting. Even if you were expecting it, make sure the attachment match the file type you were opening. For example, Word documents ends in .doc or .docx, and PDF documents ends in .pdf. In all cases, this letter should be at the very end of the file names. You should also scan all emails with attachment using an antivirus application after you have updated the virus definitions. And of course, if you find any emails that is suspicious, the best way is to not click on any links and attachments. Simply delete the email and walk away.
Faster! Go!
Hi guys, next I will talk about social engineering. Social engineering refers to psychological manipulation of people into performing actions or divulging confidential information. It is essentially the art of gaining access to buildings, systems, or data by exploiting human psychology, rather than by breaking in or using technical hacking techniques. If you still don't know what is social engineering, don't worry. Let me show you a good example of social engineering from Jimmy Kimmel's live show.
So today we sent a camera out on a Hollywood Boulevard to help people by asking them to tell us their password. And this is how that went.
We're talking about cybersecurity today and how safe people's passwords are. What is one of your online passwords currently?
It is my dog's name and the year I graduated from high school.
Oh, what kind of dog do you have?
I have a Chihuahua Papillon,
And what's its name?
Jameson.
Jameson. And where'd you go to school?
I went to school back in Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
What school?
Hempfield Area Senior High School
Oh, when did you graduate?
in 2009.
Oh, great.
It's like my cat's name and then just like a random number.
Okay. Have you had this cat for a while?
Yeah, she's my childhood pet.
Aw. And what's her name?
Her name is Jolie.
Jolie. So like a password of yours would be Jolie and then a number.
Yeah.
Like number 1?
Like my birthday,
Oh, when is your birthday?
June 12th,
Oh, nice. And what year were you born?
95.
Oh, great. So Jolie, 6, 12,
9.
95.
Yes.
Got it.
This is an interesting video, isn't it? Now I will introduce some techniques of social engineering. First, pretexting. Pretexting refers to creating and using an invented scenario to engage a targeted victim. It can increase the chance that the victim divulges information or perform actions that would be unlikely in ordinary circumstances. Second, phishing. We had introduced web phishing earlier. Web phishing is one example of phishing, and most of the phishing techniques are similar, so I won't talk about it here. Third, baiting. In this attack, the attacker leaves a malware-infected floppy disk, CD-ROM, or USB flash drive in a location sure to be found, gives it a legitimate-looking and curiosity-piquing label, and simply waits for the victim to use the device. Last one, tailgating. There is a restricted area secured by unattended electronic access control, for example, by RFID card. An attacker who is seeking entry to this area simply walks in behind a person who has legitimate access. This is called tailgating. Tailgating is around us. Our SOC building is secured by electronic access control, and tailgating happens frequently in SOC.
Today I would like to share with you about bad password habits. Having the same password for all your accounts. Having a weak password that can be cracked easily. Storing your plain text passwords in an easy to locate place. such as writing it down on a piece of paper, or as a file called password.txt. Imagine your password as a key to a door, your account. So that means having the same password for your accounts is like having the same key for multiple doors. So if you use the same key or password for your doors, the Decepticons can enter your houses with that same key and mess up everything. Muhahahahahahahahaha. An example of a weak password is an English word that can be found in a dictionary. Consider this, there are about 600,000 different words in an English dictionary, which would mean about 600,000 different combinations. Match this up with a normal laptop computer with a 4 billion calculations per second estimate divided by 600,000 different combinations to give a grand total of approximately 6,666 accounts with dictionary passwords cracked per second. And with a blink of an eye being about 1/3 of a second, that means in that time more than 2,222 different accounts of yours can be hacked into with an ordinary laptop computer if you use different English words as your passwords. There, do not fret and be so gloomy. It is simply just correcting these bad password habits and having better password habits. So what is the root cause of the bad password habits mentioned? Multiple strong passwords are normally hard to remember. You see, we remember things well via patterns, but patterns can make it easy to crack. So the trick to it is about randomness, unpredictability, and increasing entropy levels. And at the same time making sure your password is easy to remember. Here are some tips to create strong and easy to remember passwords. So what does this seemingly random string mean exactly? I love our IS3230 teacher Guo Xiaojia, and that is because her lessons are fun. So what we start off with is by taking the first letters of our phrase, with the exception of the word R being substituted with the letter R, and the word N being substituted with the plus sign. Then we substitute some of them with special characters that look alike. One L in front for an exclamation mark, O for 0, X for star, J for question mark, B for capital B to have a capital letter, and F for 4. Just to let you know, your password does not have to be really that long. This is just an example. The bottom rule is no hard rules, be creative, and have fun in designing your password.
Now that we have eliminated the cyber Decepticons, let us revise what we have learned today. Number 1 is to not become a victim of phishing by following our simple steps. Most of the time, phishing can be easy to identify, and when in doubt, always play safe. Number 2 is to avoid falling for social engineering traps that can make you vulnerable. Remember, a cyber friend is not always the same as a physical friend and should be dealt with cautiously. And finally, make sure to choose and store passwords wisely. Stay safe online.